How's it going, everybody? It's Tim, and you're here at Stock Picks by Tim. Now today I'm going to get into Bngo, and at the end of this video I am going to be giving you an edited version of their 42nd annual Cohen Healthcare Conference, and this is like a webinar basically. So it is about 30 minutes long, but I cut it up into about 10 minutes, but if you want to listen to the whole thing, I will leave you guys a link below. You simply just click on this and sign up. And also, as a side note, March 15th, we're having another conference here, the Oppenheimer 32nd Annual Healthcare Conference. Now, looking at the chart here, the day before this upload, Bionano had a nice 10% day, and that flipped us to being bullish, although today we are coming down a bit. I'm very comfortable buying Bionano Genomics right here. You're right around under a $500 million market cap, cash of close to half of that, and very little debt, about 10 million in debt. But don't forget that Bionano Genomics is not yet profitable, so that's one thing you got to keep in the back of your mind. And remember guys, they just put out their earnings call March 1, so I'll leave you guys a link below or at the end screen for that, so you can listen to their earnings call as well. And real quick before I leave you guys with that webcast, just take note that they've been making higher lows, and every time it seems to be a 10-cent difference. Back here, we've got a 10 cents difference on higher lows, and then same thing here. So is the bottom priced in? It's anybody's guess, but I do think we are very near the bottom, and I'm more than comfortable buying Bionano Genomics right here, like I said, at about a $500 million market cap. I think that's a great time to get in. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this clip coming up here. Make sure you like and subscribe. I put out daily videos, and make sure you check out the links below for some free crypto and stocks. And let's roll that clip.
We're known as the pioneer of something called optical genome mapping, which is a method of analyzing the structure of genomes. And I'll go through that method for you in a little bit more detail as part of this presentation. We're based in San Diego, and we sell something called the Sapphire system, which is an optical genome mapper. And we reached 164 of them around the world as of the end of last year. And we began the year with 97. So substantial year-over-year growth in our installed base. Our revenues for the year were $18 million. And we ended the year with about $250 million on the balance sheet. So the company has the cash it needs to execute its core strategy, which is what we're going about doing. We have a fantastic team of industry veterans who come from life sciences companies and other companies that have achieved extraordinary outcomes. And when we look at the first 20 years of this century, the century of biology, it's really been punctuated by next generation sequencing. And NGS from Illumina has really been the driver of the formation of so many companies, the creation of so much value, and out of that has grown several industries. But when we look across genomics today, we see that innovation itself is slowing down. We're focused on an area of genomics called structural variation analysis. And this is an area that isn't addressed very well by sequencing, and yet it's huge. It's an enormous opportunity for new technology, new innovation, new discoveries, but also there's a big opportunity in existing clinical testing where new technology can revolutionize existing workflows. And so that's what we see the future of the company being. Oftentimes when I'm talking about Bionano, this idea of structural variation is new. In fact, it's not very new. We're really looking at chromosomal aberrations, and those are the basis of medical guideline recommendations for genetic testing in genetic diseases and cancer, hematologic malignancies, solid tumors. All of these medical societies recommend as first-line testing things like karyotyping, FISH, microarrays, and those techniques are all looking for structural variation, which matters as much or more than sequence variation. What structural variation is referring to is actually the location of sequence in the genome, not really whether the sequence itself has changed. So if a gene has been moved from one chromosome to another, structural variation is the analysis that you need to conduct to figure that out. And that's why it's so incredibly important for genetic diseases and cancer. And so this is the platform that we've developed to do that. It's called the Sapphire system. And last year we acquired a software company with really the leading software for doing structural variation visualization, interpretation, and reporting. Their product is called NX Clinical, and we're putting those two together. Optical genome mapping on the Saphyr system and data analysis through NX Clinical to integrate all genomic information into a single window and make optical genome mapping that proprietary data type that reveals structural variation. And so this is the product that we sell. When we look at those markets, we see them being fairly substantial and ranging initially from the 2.6 to $3.8 billion range. This cytogenetics market today tests about 5 million patients globally. And so you can imagine those 5 million patients running on our Saphyr system being analyzed by optical genome mapping. And then this translational research opportunity comprises a complement to sequencing. And so if you look throughout the world, there are about 6,000 high throughput sequencers. We believe there should be a mapper next to every sequencer. And so if we were able to build that installed base of mappers, and then mappers were used in the cytogenetics market, that's how we would get to this $3.8 billion market. But we have to recognize that genomics itself provides many opportunities for market expansion. And so there are several that would allow our available market to expand well beyond this 2.6 to $3.8 billion range. When we look at how sequencing compares to optical genome mapping for structural variation analysis, we can see that OGM is checking the box across all of the key criteria that labs are looking for in order to adopt this methodology. And sequencing, as powerful as it is for looking for small variants, just really struggles to pick these up. And this table is based on data that are pretty widely published. And it really shows, I think, a key takeaway, which is that the combination of short read sequencing, for which Illumina is the market leader, and optical genome mapping, for which we're the market leader, provides a perfect combination for revealing as much genome variation as is possible in every sample. When we look at our workflow compared to the traditional methods in cytogenetic analysis, you can see that our workflow offers the potential to provide the information that each of these critical standalone tools that's used throughout the industry today, optical genome mapping would cover those different classes of inversions or variants across the board. And so that's why we see these labs adopting the system. This is one example of a lab that took their traditional paradigm that relied on karyotyping fish, something called MLPA, had a 4-week turnaround time, introduced optical genome mapping which was faster and higher resolution. They eliminated 9 fish tests. They completely eliminated MLPA from the workflow, and they brought the turnaround time down to just 1 week. So they're saving 3 weeks. This is in pediatric ALL testing. And so you can imagine that this is critically important. But not only did optical genome mapping perform much better, but it was 50% less expensive than the traditional paradigm. And so this is a really compelling example of why labs are adopting this product. So, just to talk a little bit about the economic engine that's driving revenue growth and adoption, as well as some of the strategic products, it's pictured here on this slide. So we sell the Saphyr system, the optical genome mapping solution, and our goal is to build this installed base and have those users pull through an annuity of consumables. That'll be the long-term revenue and profit driver for the company. But on the other side of the slide are our software solutions. We use those as a strategic driver of our business. Actually, our software, NX Clinical, which was developed by BioDiscovery, is the leading tool for visualization, interpretation, and reporting of structural variation information from chromosomal microarrays and next generation sequencing. And so we sell that to labs that are running those techniques. And that's a way of making them Bionano customers even before they adopt optical genome mapping. And our vision, we're working on a version of NX Clinical that integrates optical genome mapping. And so our vision is that customers will have a single software that allows them to analyze all of their omic data types together in a single window. And we know that these instruments, as powerful as they are, all they do is deliver a file with a lot of binary data in it. It's the software that analyzes that data and provides the answers. That's why we're so excited about the acquisition of BioDiscovery and our software solutions. We also offer CLIA services, testing services, and that provides us a direct connection to physicians and medical providers. We currently sell a menu of tests that are based on chromosomal microarray and sequencing, and over time we'll add optical genome mapping to that menu. But the purpose in selling these services is to educate the market in the power of optical genome mapping and also fight the battle for reimbursement with insurance companies. And so this is our suite of offerings to the market that drive our revenues over time. The centerpiece is optical genome mapping.